Every habit has been broken. You've been consistent, you've been doing everything right, you're getting closer and closer to your goals. You're at those last couple of final steps. This is it. This is the part that you complete something that you've always wanted to complete. It's right there, glowing. It looks so beautiful. The feeling that you get from actually achieving this goal will be second to none. You're almost there, climbing the steps. Your legs tired and sore. You're sweaty. Your teeth are clenched and you're grunting, but you keep climbing. 10 more steps to go. Keep climbing. 8 more steps to go. Keep climbing. 5 more steps to go. Keep climbing. 3 more steps to go. Keep climbing until you're at 1. When you're right there facing it. You go and reach the glowing object, but you can't. There's a chain attached to your wrist. You go and try to grab it with your other hand, but there's a chain attached to that one too. And you realize that you did all this work, all that struggle, just to look at the thing that you've been striving for all your life, all because of these stupid chains. And you're stuck there, looking at what could have been, stuck in your version of purgatory. I wrote this Shakespearean level short story to A, flex the fact that I'm in AP Lit, and B, show you how it feels when you have those two chains kind of pulling you back and stopping you from reaching your full potential. Section 1, how to identify those two chains. Well, first, the concept of two chains seems kind of vague. What do I mean by those two chains? Basically, what I mean by this is those two things that you're holding on to that are limiting your true potential and make it harder for you to do the things that you need to do to progress in your goals. If I can put self-improvement into a nutshell, it's cut off bad habits and do good ones to unlock your full potential. But not every bad action or bad habits are built the same. There's some bad habits that you can easily cut out, but there's usually 1 or 2 that no matter what you do, you just find it impossible to cut them out. Those 2 habits that you find impossible to cut out are what I like to call those 2 chains. These are the chains that stop you from reaching your goals and interfere with your progress. Now that you know the term, we need to know how to identify a bad habit or a chain. And it's pretty simple. You identify a chain with a very simple question. Does this thing get me closer to my goals? If the answer is no, then it's a bad habit or chain. Like I said, not every chain or habit is equal, and everyone struggles with things that another person finds easy to abstain from, and vice versa. For example, there's people in this world that heavily struggle with drugs and substances. But for me, you can put cocaine in front of me and I won't snort it. You can put weed in front of me and I won't smoke it. But that same person can find not going on a social media binge easier than I would. So everyone's chain is different. So being able to identify yours is crucial. You do this through process of elimination, like you're taking a test, right? So the first thing I want you to do is write down all the habits and chains that you've done. Write them down. It doesn't matter how long the list is. Just write every bad habit that you know you have done in your life. I'll do this with you. Now cross out all the ones that you believe you can live without for like certain. Like for me, yes, I've smoked the Za, right? But I can 100% live without it, right? Like literally if I smoke it, right? And you tell me I can never do this again, I wouldn't like go on my knees and like pray to you and beg you to stop. Like don't do that, right? Like I really wouldn't care. Next, you cross out the habits that you know you can live without, but it would be kind of hard to abstain from doing. For example, like me is porn. Like, yes, I can live without porn, even though I'm a virgin, but it took some time for me to abstain from it. And there was like a decently long process and many relapses. But in the end, I abstained from it. Now, there should be like 1 or 2 habits left. And usually, these 1 to 2 habits are your chains. These are the ones that you just can't get rid of. For me, it's hanging out with friends and social media. Now, yes, I understand hanging out with friends doesn't seem like a bad thing. It's not like porn or junk food. But remember, a bad habit or a chain is something that hinders you and makes it harder for you to achieve your goals. And honestly, hanging out with friends for me hinders my progress, even though I really enjoy what we do, right? So if you do the process correctly, you have 1 to 2 habits or chains that you find no matter what you do, you can't break. Section 2, finding craving. There's 2 things you must do. You must understand the root cause and then find another outlet for you to satisfy the root cause. You see, in rehab, a very important tactic is they basically help you develop new mechanisms that allow drug addicts to deal with the stresses and triggers that would usually make them indulge in the drug. Now, these two chains are almost like an addiction. You are addicted to doing these things, and everything has a cause and effect. What is the cause of your addiction? Why do you do it so much knowing that it's bad? It's because you're trying to fulfill a feeling, and that thing allows you to fulfill it. In the book, The Power of Habits, you should read this book, it's very good. They express something called the habit loop. The habit loop is a 4-step process that describes the process of all habits, good or bad. So it goes like this: the cue, craving, routine, reward. We must understand how each part works with each other in order to understand how to take advantage of this loop and use it for our benefit. So the cue is the trigger. It's something that tells your brain to go and start the process. Whether that's a notification from your phone, or an Instagram baddie shaking ass, or the cake in the fridge that triggers you to start that process. We will come back to the craving, right? Your routine is basically you doing the habit, the action itself. Scrolling, jacking off, hanging out with your friends. You get the idea. Pretty straightforward. And the reward is the immediate benefit you get from doing the habit. Maybe for doom scrolling, it's a sense of entertainment. Jacking off is the release, right? Or like it gives you like pleasure, right? For junk food, maybe it's the taste of the cake and the cookie. It's literally that simple. It's the immediate benefit you get from doing the habit. Now, the reason why I said to hold off to the craving is because the craving and reward are actually connected. You see, the reward is the immediate benefit. We've already established that. But the immediate benefit satisfies something deeper, which is your craving. Your craving is the deeper desire you have. So I believe when we are addicted to something, it fulfills it in 2 types of ways: by protecting you from it or giving you it. Pause. Like, for example, a lot of people binge eat junk food because of anxiety, and they use the junk food as a vessel for them to release anxiety and protect them from anxiety, right? This is an example of the bad habit protecting you from something. In this case, the bad habit is protecting the person from their anxiety. An example of a craving giving you something, like something you desire, like deeply, is something like video games, right? In video games, you're there with people talking like a community. You're leveling up and progressing in the game. You're striving for new gear, collectibles. It gives you a sense of purpose, status, or brotherhood, right? This person craves a sense of purpose, or maybe he craves the sense of status he gets from being high level, or the brotherhood when he's talking with his friends and stuff, and uses the video games as a vessel to fulfill those things. So how do you identify your craving? You do it by asking this simple question: what does my reward give me? For example, for me with doom scrolling, which was one of my chains, essentially I asked, what does my reward, which was a sense of entertainment, give me? And the answer was to protect me from uncomfortable situations that gave me anxiety. You see, when I was during this process, I realized that I only go on my phone to avoid uncomfortable situations. Like I'm with people I don't know, or when I'm trying to avoid uncomfortable tasks, such as deep work. I use doom scrolling and the entertainment it gives me to release that anxiety. So what I craved with doom scrolling was to protect myself from anxiety. So you do the same process. Think and ask yourself that question just over and over and over until something clicks finally. Section 3, how to replace the habit. So you should have your craving. You're either craving something to protect you from a feeling or fulfill a desire, and use those bad habits as a way to get there. Since you indulging in these bad habits are effects and not the causes, that means we can simply just change them into good ones. In other words, you can change and replace the bad habit with a good one, but only if it fulfills this one thing. It also fulfills your craving. So I want to take 2 people, Alex Pereira and Popular MMOs. If you don't know Alex Pereira, he's a kickboxing and MMA champion, the guy that says Shama, right? And if you don't know Popular MMOs, then you're either 40 or Amish. He's one of the best, the best Minecraft YouTubers. He was like the big 3, in my opinion. NTDM, Popular MMOs, and then I'll probably put Sunday in there for the big 3. This is the real Minecraft big 3, alright? The common thing with these guys is they both had a severe drinking problem. There's an infamous video of Popular MMOs getting arrested, wasted out his mind. And now the reason why I'm using both these people is because A, they have the same problem, but B, they overcame it. Alex Pereira became a kickboxing and UFC champion, and Popular MMOs is now over 4 months sober. Now, how did they do it? They literally used this process that I'm about to show you without even knowing it. And without even knowing it, they identified their craving and then found a better habit that still fulfills the craving. For Alex Pereira, he said that alcohol gave him a way to run away from his pain and lack of purpose, but he overcame that by going to kickboxing. Now, why did kickboxing work so well? It's because it fulfilled the things that caused him to drink. Kickboxing gave him a vessel to express his anger and pain, but also gave him a sense of purpose. It gave him something to look forward to in the day and actually strive towards. For MatPat, although I can't tell you exactly what it is because I have limited information, all I know is he said something in one of his videos that I think is super interesting to share. Here's the clip.
You know, you really have to want it. And another reason I'm not only to help people with this, this is to hold myself accountable. I know this will help me more than anything, is being able to help other people.
He says that making these videos and helping people is going to help him a lot with his own addiction. So I believe for him as well, his craving was purpose, right? He didn't have a purpose, especially when his girlfriend broke up with him and stuff, and he was just lost, right? And the alcohol and the drinking protected him from this lack of purpose. And now that he's starting to get back on his feet, helping people and actually really doing the things that he wants to do, he got 4 months sober. And he only did that because he had something else to replace that, to basically replace that and give him a sense of purpose. And he's been struggling with this for years, but he only got 4 months sober when he had a purpose, and that purpose was to help people with the same issue he has. So with these examples in mind, how do you find that habit? Well, look at your craving. What are you running away from? What are you getting with this? And now think about good habits. Now think about if these good habits help your craving. For example, I use my social media and doom scrolling as an example. We established that I doom scroll due to anxiety. The entertainment I get from doom scrolling or binging videos protects me from my anxiety. Whether that means I'm in an uncomfortable situation or I have a big project or work task I have to do, this thing protects me from my anxiety and basically shields me from actually having to get uncomfortable. Okay, so we established what our craving was. Now, let me ask myself, what habits help with anxiety? Well, the first two that come to mind immediately is meditation and journaling. And for me, I picked journaling because I'm not going to randomly just start sitting down every time I feel anxious and just breathe in and breathe out. I'd rather just pull out a small notebook or something and just jot down my thoughts real quick for 5 minutes. So your process is basically identify your craving, which you have already done. Does it fulfill something? Does it help you run away from something? Then think of good habits and ask if those good habits help you battle that craving. If it does, then choose it. If it doesn't, then don't choose it. It's that simple. I'll give you a couple more examples just to drive the point home. Let's say video games fulfills the desire for status and leveling up. You can replace that with the gym. Because the gym is like a video game, right? Week after week, you're progressing, getting stronger on lifts, seeing more muscle mass or fat loss, and you're leveling up. Talking to people in the gym, upgrading your status. And you see when you have gym at the forefront of your day and priority and you really lock in and get consistent in the gym, you see that your desire to play video games drastically decreases. For hanging out with friends, it's a special case. So I want to explain it. The trick is to grab 1 to 2 of your closest friends and also 1 to 2 of the friends that actually want to lock in with you, right? Actually want to do shit that's not clubbing or smoking, right? And basically, you just do something together that's good for you. The most common thing is the gym. It's so common that they made a term for it. It's called gym bros, right? Because hanging out with your friends is a brotherhood and you shouldn't replace it. What you should do is replace the activities you do with your brotherhood. So instead of clubbing or just smoking with them, go to the gym, go hiking, I don't know. Just do something that's positive toward your development when you're with them and not negative. You see, I broke that chain of hanging out with my friends by getting 1 to 2 of my closest friends that really want to lock in with me and just going to the gym with them. Or for porn, you do porn because it helps you run away from stress. And instead of going to porn, you can meditate, since meditation also battles stress. You see the process that I'm trying to get at? So essentially, find your good habit that helps you battle your craving. And that's literally it. That's the whole process. And people don't do it because they either don't know or they're just too lazy to actually want to, change their lives. Section 4, plan of attack. First, make it as hard as possible to find the cue that triggers your negative habit loop. Whether that's unfollowing all the Instagram baddies, deleting social media, throwing out the junk food, having your gaming console out of your sight. Just make it as hard as possible for you to get to the cue. Next, every time you do have the desire to indulge in the negative habit, you do the positive habit instead. So for me, every time I wanted to doom scroll, instead of doom scrolling, I journaled my thoughts, what I was anxious about, why I'm on my phone, what I need to be doing right now. And that allowed me to release my anxiety and actually help me do the things that I was holding off from. And if, let's say you jack off because it helps you with stress, instead of jacking off every time you're stressed, you just meditate. Yes, you will give in sometimes, right? But that's not the point. The point is to gradually pick the good habit over the bad when these cravings occur. And eventually, when you keep on doing this thing, your brain will start to rewire and you actually create a new habit loop. And now you automatically do the good habit when you have the trigger instead of the bad. It's just like you have to go through the steps, right? You just, like I said, this is my philosophy, taking it one step at a time, right? You are going to give in. It's not like, oh, I have this thing. Like when I was doing it, I probably only did it 10% of the time, journaling instead of doom scrolling. But now I'm doing it 80 to 90% of the time because I just gradually stuck with it and I just gradually got better at fighting the urges. Well, that's all I have for you for today. Wish you luck in your journey and peace.